Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 17 years of broadcasting success, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience tuning in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM. We welcome you all back to our program, but also joining us online worldwide. Thanks to our friends at iHeartRadio. We're glad you all could be with us as well. We're excited to welcome recording artist Troy to our show today to talk to him not only about his musical journey, but he's celebrating a brand new single that's out now called Unbreakable. We'll talk to Troy about the single, what it's been like for him to see the early response to it, and of course, let you guys know how to be able to get it for yourself, as well as stay connected with his journey as he's moving throughout the rest of this year. Troy, thank you so much for the time, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
Hey, the pleasure's definitely all mine. So here you are celebrating this brand new single, Unbreakable. I was mentioning to you before we went on here, one of the great things was the lead up to it. You gave some great teasers on social media, and people were talking about how excited they were. How does it feel now to be able to finally share it with the rest of us?
It feels really good. You know, it's been a long journey to this point, and I know that the journey really is just getting started with it now just coming out. But it's been really great just kind of seeing how the audience is really reacting to it, as well as kind of the lead up before of kind of being like an underground song that people would come up to me and be like, I really love that one, man. And it's just been, it just really feels great.
Yeah. So I want to talk about this musical journey for you, because one of the things we're also able to see, of course, you know, are you performing online? For those who are not following on social media, Troy, of course, we'll let them know how to do that. Have you always known that music was going to be a part of your life, Troy?
Music's definitely been a big passion in my life. I mean, I came out, you know, when I was born, I came out singing, you know. But as I kind of grew up, I started doing musical theater, and that led to acting, and I was able to do Oliver and the world premiere of A Christmas Story in Kansas City, and then I moved to Los Angeles, and I was in shows like This Is Us and The Last Ship and New Girl and Victorious, and the music was always there in my heart. I started writing music at 14. The songs didn't start getting good until about like 18, but you know, it's definitely been a journey, and it's something I've always kept to myself, but it's always been my passion until about a year or so ago. A friend of mine was like, hey, you got to share this with the world. You know, people need to hear this. And that led me to Nashville and led me to my producer, Marty Fredrickson, who is just a beast at what he does. He's a savant. It's magnificent. And it's all led kind of up to this moment, you know?
And I think it's so interesting, you know, we all have heard the saying, Troy, about a picture's worth 1,000 words. When I was prepping for this, you know, we were able to see, let's just say on Instagram, see pictures of you at the piano, pictures of you playing the guitar, of course, pictures of you singing. Do you think that everything that you have kind of, like you just outlined, has kind of led you to this moment now where you have music that is not only inspiring, but also reminding people what's possible?
Thank you. That's really kind of you to say. Yeah, it's really nice, you know, it really makes me kind of look at my life and just be grateful for everything, you know?
Yeah, right.
For just every day, and to get up and to be able to have music, just at its core. And for me, I really think music is like magic, because it can change your emotions. It can change everything in an instant. It can bring people together. It's just definitely something that's greater than this world.
I totally agree. And it's interesting, in the year that we've had now with 2020, music has been one of the constants for us, right? I mean, that's one of the things we can turn to. And it's been so interesting for me, Troy, to think about, because I think, you know, when so many other things are shut down, it's great to have artists like yourself who've been able to still keep the music going. So I want to talk to you about, what has that been like for you? How much, I mean, I think for us as listeners and of recipients of the gift that you guys give, it's been helpful for us. But how helpful has it been for you to be able to keep the music going?
Oh, it's been very helpful. At first, you know, right when all this stuff kind of happened, I kind of got into the mindset of like, I'm going to write all the songs that I've ever written, and I'm going to be plowing through all these. I'm going to release all these things, and I'm just going to go. That's kind of my mentality as a person anyway. It's just I'm a go-getter, and I'm not really going to stop until I get it. And as kind of quarantine and stuff set in, I realized that it was not about going. It was more about stopping and kind of reflecting and kind of going in. And that actually brought me to performing Instagram Lives on my driveway for my neighborhood. And then over the time, it kind of became this kind of cul-de-sac concert type of thing that happened every week. And we would have the neighborhood kind of come out every week and socially distanced, of course, but where I would perform songs, and it would be originals and covers. And it's just been a really nice way to be able to connect with people while being separated. And also, in retrospect, I've been able to perform live. So I've been able to kind of hone in on those skills of being like, every show is going to be different. Even if mid-show it starts to rain, I have to kind of figure out how to deal with all of that. And it kind of gives me that experience now in the quarantine, in all this COVID era that we are in, to have me kind of come out of this and be more seasoned and more experienced into what it's like to perform live, and give me the mentality of, oh, I can get on any stage now and just feel comfortable.
Right.
And I was always comfortable, but now it's like second nature.
And I think the other thing is, and I think what you just said, Troy, really puts it in perspective. It lets you know, or it reminds you at least, that you're not by yourself. And not only for the people in front of you, but even on the post that you made again online, you had not only, of course, fans saying, looking forward to this, but also other artists that were saying, go, let's go, congratulations. How did that feel to have your peers kind of rooting for you along the way too?
It feels great. It really does, especially for a song like Unbreakable that is so personal yet empowering at the same time. And for it to kind of be the first, release. I've performed around Nashville, and I've performed in LA and New York City, and I've been a big supporter of music in all of those cities, and I want to give more than I get, and it feels really great just to just see that what I'm giving, people are really receiving, and that they're actually like it kind of is representing them and being like, no, I am unbreakable, and I can get through this no matter what, because I'm unbreakable,
Right, exactly. And that's it. And I think, again, that's a great reminder for all of us, even with the events of this year. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome recording artist Troy to our program today. Troy is celebrating a brand new single out now called Unbreakable. We got it through our friends at Amazon.com. Of course, you guys can get it through your favorite online retailer. One of the things you were able to do leading up to today, Troy, was to make it easy for us to pre-save it as well. So let's talk. I've mentioned social media a few times here. Did you know then with this year, with the events kind of unfolding the way that they did you know that was going to kind of be the way you're going to have to use to communicate with the rest of us?
Whew, man, it was I would be lying if I said that I knew what this year would have, just what it would have been. I would have been lying if I was like, of course. No, I've definitely been thrown a few curveballs in this year, but life always does that. And life, whether COVID or not, is always going to throw you curveballs. So why not just accept them and be able to kind of take them head on and just, you got to swing, because if you connect, it's more likely going to go somewhere. And with the social media aspect, I knew that I had to do Instagram Live, and I knew that I had to kind of do that stuff because social media is such a wonderful outlet for everybody. That's what's so great about it. But at the same time, I kind of didn't want to push social media too hard, because I still wanted to kind of, like I said before, kind of go inside and do the work that I needed to do as a person that I wasn't doing when I was going out all the time. And that work also led to me writing new songs and getting better at the guitar and the piano and focusing on my voice and connecting with my family more often. And it really has made the social media part actually more special, because I'm not relying on social media to be the thing that connects me to the people I love. Like I can just pick up the phone and call them because I'm not feeling anxiety about it. And I can, and for fans, that's why I love doing the lives, because I can actually talk to them instead of, and that's why I answer almost every one of my comments. You know, if I haven't answered them, because I haven't seen my phone that day, or I'm going to check it anyway. But I try to answer every one of my comments, and everybody who DMs me, I try to answer them. It's because we're all people, you know, when it comes down to it, whether you're a bajillionaire or you're not, you're still a human being.
True. I have to ask you this question. I honestly don't know the answer, Troy, so I'll be finding out with our audience here. Would there have been an Unbreakable without 2020?
You know, I started writing Unbreakable. I was laying in my bed, and I was kind of just, you know, thinking about my life and how I was being tested a lot, consistently. And it was kind of the thing that I needed to hear at the time. And 2020 actually allowed this song to really sing, because I went into the recording studio at Sienna Studios here in Nashville with my producer, Marty Fredrickson. And we were in the middle of producing it, and he kind of called me and was like, hey, man, just to talk about the lyrics. And we discussed the meaning of the song. And then his son, Evan Fredrickson, and I, we kind of sat down and kind of enhanced them in this moment of when we really discussed the meaning and like what the song really was. We kind of were able to really hone in those lyrics, and it now really, really sings. And I think without 2020, those changes, those moments, the interpersonal relationships that were built Unbreakable would not have been what it was today. And so I am grateful for all that's happened, even though it's been such a crazy time.
Yeah. Well, and I think the reason why I want to ask you that question, Troy, and I appreciate you sharing that, is because now I think for the audience, right, it's definitely going to have, depending on where they are and what they're experiencing and what this year has meant for them and the events leading up to, you know, today meant to them, do you hope it kind of speaks to them where they are and reminds them of what's possible?
Absolutely. And this song to me, and I hope to everybody else, it's not just about COVID. I mean, it can be about whatever you represent. You know, I have a thing a lot with my songs of when people ask me what this song is about or why I wrote it. It's kind of up to the person of what the song could mean, because you and I could have very different meanings of what this song is. And I think that's, you know, you're privileged to have that choice to be like, this song means this to me, and it doesn't have to represent what it means to me, you know. And that's, I feel that if somebody, whether they're struggling with a day-to-day thing, it could be a really big thing, it could be raising a child, it could be, there's a whole world of struggles that it could be. If you can connect to the song and the music, it doesn't matter what it is, as long as you connect, you know. And that's
right.
That's what I hope that this song can give, is that connection.
Well, I think it does. I think it definitely does that, Troy, and I'm glad that we have you here as you're releasing it to the world, have you here to be able to share with us. Again, everyone, recording artist Troy has been our guest. We've been talking with him about his musical journey and the new single that is out now called Unbreakable. You guys can get it through your favorite online retailer. And, Troy, I mentioned social media, so how can our audience stay connected with you and kind of keep up with what's coming up for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the song Unbreakable is going to be releasing on all streaming platforms, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon, all of them. It's going to be on TikTok. It's going to be on the whole shebang. But you can follow me on Instagram at Troy Doherty, Doherty. That's how you spell my last name. My website is TroyDoherty.com. Twitter is Troy Doherty, and Facebook is Troy Doherty Official. And yeah, shoot me a message. I'm the one controlling my phone, so I will see it. And yeah, please, if you love the song, share it with your friends. If you hate the song, share it with your enemies. You know, like.
Well, look, I think they will definitely love the song, and I really have loved this conversation with you, Troy. Thank you so much for dropping by. I really appreciate it, and looking forward to having you back on the program again.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Hey, glad to do it, man. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. And until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let's make today amazing. Take care.